Hey guys, we are going to Clash of Wills January 2024, the Shinobi of Unknown Origin for a level 97 perfect clear. I mean, it's not rank 1, but I do want to preface this by saying that me doing this video is not an endorsement of this clear. A lot of the feelings and thoughts that other content creators have, I share. But on the flip side, for Clash of Wills, I mean, rank 1 through 1,000 rewards are exactly the same. So, I mean, it is what it is. Uh, if you can't do this, level 96 with the same team is a pretty good score, and it's a lot more forgiving as far as damage goes with the team we're using. And also want to shout out to Ubonic. This is kind of modeled a bit after the clear he did. It's more or less like a Dark Visions burst on turn 5. You just kill the boss. So we're actually going with an Earth team. I didn't pull Noctis. So we're using Ramza and Agrias as our, I haven't even committed the skill names to memory. But they fill up the new gauge units basically. So they only need to cast that skill on turn 3, and then by the end of turn 4, by turn 4, the skill for Esther to use is available. The ending mania mode, going into bonus time, whatever. So, but anyway, here's the team we're using. We have Ramza as our leader. So unfortunately, Richt doesn't fall under that leader skill, and Esther in the base form does not either. So tanking in the base form with her is a bit of a challenge. It does require some limited materia. But Ramza, starting in the shift form, but base form, built for LB damage against Insect, Human, and Reaper. So there we go. Oh, and he's not even capped out on LB damage. How in the world did that happen? Oversights, I guess. So it's whatever. But shift 4, tried to high HP, spirit, some dark resist, some light resist. So he's at, with the mods on, negative 20 light, 75 dark. This fight is just, there's a lot of RNG in this fight. You do need bulk. I just focus more on bulk than specific resistances. Probably not the best approach, but it works ish. There's some clears where one of your support units get wiped, but yeah. So 5,000 defense, 5,400 spirit, and the Earth card, and resistances in the base. You saw those. So still quite a bit of bulk in the base form, and everybody's stats are all door potted. Agrias, some HP from Guy's Belt. Preemptive LB boost. So max human, max insect, max reaper, max LB. So there we go on her. Richt, base form. Richt's here for perfect dispels. So the turn we want to burst on, the boss puts up a 10 stack of Mirage. So his rolling perfect dispel gets rid of that. I'd probably be using somebody else otherwise if we didn't need that rolling dispel. But, the options are limited. I guess you could use, I don't even know what other Earth Mirror of Equity chainers there are. So I guess Agrias could break on turn 5 to get rid of the dispel. I think she has a perfect dispel on her break. And then, she'd put up the field, the Imperils breaks, and then you'd have another damage dealer. But anyway, I mean, we'll just go with this. I know 98 with all the defensive mods on, this team can't cap, so let alone, tank it. So even if you did 98 with like the attack mod off, this team wouldn't cap. I don't know. I'll noodle on it. Maybe swap Rick out for another damage dealer. Just not even try to do damage with Agrias on the burst turn. But anyway. One other thing about Agrias is that we're getting Reaper Killer from her. But she does need to be here for the new, Mania Mode gauge filling. Anyhow. So Rick, base form, max killers, max LB. There's his gearing. And his damage is pretty abysmal, to be honest, without a leader skill. Just so. Starting in the shift form with some preemptive morale fill and high HP. You could probably have more defense and spirit, but it's fine. And then some dark resist. So we're really only in... we have to deal with one turn of light damage, and then the rest of the fight's a dark damage. So I guess if you really wanted to map it out, I mean, you still need some light resist, but mostly on your tank. So as far as gearing, elemental resistances on everyone else, I'd focus more on dark. Sylvie, base form, just some morale fill type stuff. Eye of the Dragon. Then shift form, just some bulk. Just make sure you don't have any source of counter on her. Honestly, the Warrior's Bulwark is not necessary. But she is passive provoke. And like they like to do, well, I do have her evading, but no, not in the base form, but a lot of the boss's attacks have accuracy, so do with that what you will as far as gearing her for evasion. She seems to survive just fine. Melissa's card for some morale fill. She could probably use more HP, honestly, but it's fine. But yeah, no counters on Sylvie. Barrel, some counter in the base form. I think that's for LB fill, if I remember right. A lot of bulk. Yeah, he gets pretty bulky. What is his base HP? 7,700, yeah. But yeah, he's got Rick's card, counter, chance up, some dark resist. I mean, we're getting a 200% imperil and we're not curing it anyway, so. But yeah, there's his base form gearing, shift form, max LB against Human, Insect, and Reaper. And he is our main damage dealer. He's pretty hard to gear for, I think it was a Reaper killer, it looks like. So there's that. And then Sylvie, base form, Snow Bear for some counter healing. She's starting in the shift form. Warrior's Bulwark, that is probably a pretty big deal on her. A Shy Mermaid. And again, she's not getting leader buff in the base form, so she's having to try to tank this, Well, one, she sucks as a tank in the base form, and two, with no leader skill, so. But, yeah, there's her base form gearing. So there are her resistances. Then shift form, a little bit of light resist. I don't think we have to deal with the light imperil in the at all when we're getting light attacked. But she does have counter her Blizzard Orb and her own TMR in the shift form for some LB fill. And she's starting in the shift with Mystic Tenacity and Cyclopedia Mythica for some racial mitigations. And then that vision card. So we will get into it. Yeah, I'm going to cut the video and then we'll jump back in here in a sec. Okay, we are back. So, level 97, all mods. Let's do this. Okay, so just to call it out, we are starting Richt, Ramza, and Esther in the shift forms. So first thing we need to do is give Esther some LB fill from Barrel. So Seraphic Present over to Esther. Cute Doll for the human killer on everyone, and then All Ye Faithful to overwrite the boss's field. Esther can Energizing Bunny for a buff. Boundless Stasis for some mitigations, and Electromagnetic Shield for the Omni cover. Sylvie can put up physical and magic mitigation, and Compassionate Knight for break resist and ailment resist. Agrius can Divine Ruination for a light imperil, and then Pulverizing Strike for weakness damage. Ramza can Suppressive Sword twice for weakness damage, and I Endeavor for a killer on himself. And Richt can Moment of Weakness to get rid of the attack buff, and then do his breaks. Okay. Yep. So I had tried this a second ago, and Esther died to Shaka Waves. So there is still a lot of RNG here. But anyway, Agrius is going to Kiraga 3 times. Sylvie is going to... let's see where Esther lands here in a sec. But she's going to defense, do her general mitigation, and then Compassionate Knight for a heal. Yeah, it's fine. So Esther can go to the base form and do her base form LB just to unlock her Omni cover again. We'll do Sylvie. Barrel can Instonga. Seraphic install over to Esther. I think that's AoE anyway. Yeah. So it's an 85% magic mitigation. And then Stuffed Animal for morale. Ramza can go to the base form. He is going to do, let's see, morale boost for a barrier, crush resistance, and then suppressive sword. And Richt is going to the base form. He's going to put up his light from within for the killer, and then Luma Shield human for some mitigation and morale fill. I mean, the boss autofills its morale for us anyway, so there's always some mitigation in there for Richt. So we'll cross our fingers that Esther survives. Great. Okay, so this turn, let's see. So Agrius is just going to do her Focused Energy Plus. Robs is going back to the shift form. He will do Focused Energy Plus. Actually, let's... Does he need healing? No. Okay. If he needed healing, we'd do Sylvie first. just since she does fixed healing in the shift form, and a smaller fixed amount would be a higher percentage in Ramza's base form. So when he shifted, he would have a higher HP level, if that makes sense. But anyway, he's going back to the shift form since he's full on HP, and he's going to do focused energy plus. Beryl can base form LB for human mitigation on everyone. Sylvie can shift. She is going to Earth 1. Just so we have an amp on Richt. And then she can heal. Okay, Esther can shift. And Esther will... we're not going to do static screen yet. She is going to Quantum Storm over to Sylvie and Storm Guardian for the 90% mitigation for 2 turns, and then refresh Omni Cover. And Richt can go back to the shift form. He can do his Weapon in Peril with Leading Legend, his Rolling Perfect Spell with Radiant Protection and Strength to Protect. So just to call it out, in case this is something you can noodle on, maybe you can figure out something you can do with this. But the boss does, in this phase, a lot of dark magic attacks. And it has, well, some of those bypass cover. And it's imbued with dark. So if you can negate the dark damage, like in this phase, and not do the perfect dispel yet, you could take advantage of him being imbued with dark. Right now we do have a 200% Imperil, and I think it might be at the beginning of this next turn he puts it up in Imperil field. So you would need, well, like I said, he does an AoE magic attack that bypasses cover. So you'd need massive amounts of dark resist on everyone to negate that. But it's there, just to call it out. And again, you know, for tanking purposes, it's imbued with dark. So if you don't dispel it, all the physical is, you know, dark elemental. So if you can gear for enough dark resist, you know, you can negate the physical. Esther tried gearing her for a bunch of dark resist, and she loses too many defensive stats to be able to tank the non-elemental magic. So maybe if you had another tank, but anyway. So yeah, Richt is Weapon in Peril, Rolling Perfect Dispel, and then just a break. So it is kind of advantageous that they limited the number of counters that, you know, one materia can give you, because like Esther's counters this way cap out at 5. So that's like 7,500 HP max that she'll, you know, recover on everyone. So as long as they have that much, as long as everyone has over 7,500 after the big dark nukes there too, that she can't kill them with counters. So that's nice. So to keep her from killing everyone this turn by countering, she's going back to the base form. Now she's going to do Static Screen, Bolting Impact, and Calm Before the Storm. So Agrius is going to power up. We'll do Elemental Burst Earth, do her break, and Holy Blade Smite for a bigger Reaper killer on everyone. Ramza can, let's see, Elemental Burst Earth, I Am My Father's Son for the LB mod, and just whatever in Stonega. Richt can go to the base form, and he will Light from Within just for the morale gain, and then both of his attack skills for more morale. Barrel will Arcane Supplementation, Ye Guilty for the Earth Amp, and I'll be Faithful to overwrite the field. And Sylvie can Insect Killer over to Barrel. I've got your back to whoever just for morale gain. And Caring Paladin Strike. No, sorry. Cheerful Paladin Strike for morale gain. So Esther might die, but it should be fine. If she does. Because she's going to counter heal from Snow Bear. Yeah, okay. So that's fine. So if Esther didn't die, she'd be doing her LB this turn. And Sylvie would be doing her shift at LB, but since we need a chaining partner for Barrel, Sylvie's going to chain with Barrel. So either Chain Lightning from Esther, I mean, it shouldn't be completely resisting lightning just from Rick's breaks. So yeah, it's like -25 lightning resist, but you can use Claw of the Dragon or... Actually, I'm trying to remember. Does Chain Lightning dual cast? Oh, one time each, regardless of equipment conditions. Okay. So, Claw of the Dragon. What about that? That may... Okay. So, yeah. Single wield Sylvie in the base form. So, we'll just Chain Lightning with her. Barrel can do his shift at LB. Ramza can do his base form LB. It's a higher mod, actually, than his shift LB, just because the morale boosts to it. Agrius can SLB, and Richt can base form LB to chain with Agrius. So we'll send Richt and Agrius first, wait a couple seconds to let the chain build, send Ramza, and then Sylvie and Barrel. And didn't call it out in the gearing, but you do want to make sure, in case Sylvie is alive and she's chaining this turn, that she's later in the party order than Barrel. Or just click Barrel first before Esther so that her field doesn't overwrite the Imperil and Amp field for Barrel. But anyway, here we go. Guessing about 11 billion without Sylvie's mods. 12, okay. But yeah, like I said, at level 98, the boss is just too bulky for an Earth team because it's resistant to Earth, or it's not as weak to Earth as like Ice and Light. But yeah, I mean, there you go. And just another thing to call out. Yeah, I had a clear where I had like 194% morale on the burst turn, and the final morale value wasn't perfect. So yeah, that's why we cast all those morale skills from Sylvie and Richt on turn 4, just to get that morale gauge back up. Yeah, I think the boss cast like a 5,000 morale skill against us on turn 3, so it dipped down a little bit. But anyway, there is, a clear without Noctis. Um, Currently ranked 30, so I'm sure that'll change. But yeah, again, I mean, rank 1 through 1,000 are all same rewards. So you could even just use this team, knock the level down to like 96 or 95, and you'd still be top 1,000, I'm sure, by the end. But if you just want to, push your account, see what you can do, I mean, here you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you later.